Taul Betlath el alta magduguk Marcel Tokshor gidra MOJ Family Hour tira gidra okya kan mlamay halle ekungo algo yung ulmastrir malgo kalbol open programmer gid lo Isaac mo tira katwataang edol mo mar program gid altutaw kay malungul tutaw le kor kamil terul okyak happy new year dolmol
malungul besara ga spay de kamram sulang ngul tutaw wala do mo le medida do susergi del mora ay budul ma reklay bilong ma ay bi reklay ma honorable president of the republic surang la junior surang lips junior ma madam vice president udo sangabaw senior susul mora presidenta senate ma speaker house ma arbekal senators ma delegates deregal malungil tul tutaw susul mora arbekal senators ma delegates ma governors regal bekal bulu rangas kama modlo malungil tutal megida adr belawro kuy agi ngartel terung Lomter Obisra Anti-Human Trafficking Unit ra Bureau of Public Safety nga Ricky Antonio aktar tedel investigators at Yalobis agi mertial me korol te maisa atele laurelet Yalobis gamam mangal batnya nga kalobngi kalngatiang Amber kami introduce
Malungil tutaw, my name is Amber Osima, nga victim advocate tertegi del obis, and today is a special day because al January 11 ng Human Trafficking Awareness Mandam Legal, maging artial terung in observance of that day, agi may o ay sa tetel obis rakamam and the services we have available, and what role we play in the community in helping our prevention efforts and try to combat the human trafficking.
Ang batalor bisir gidra anti-human trafficking dul muuringi ra 2018 lulga executive order president el tial lo bisir gida mloktub lo mesel gire la yel rogul blagrad le dulu aseng human trafficking or people trafficking investigate ayyi del rogul margalel mataletelela chegi della dialobis dingo mission dergida maljaga sal medengel mongara trafficking ngara people trafficking etia al blaqara de la al adrbelaw المصادر تلتلل شل ذو ملاقة ذو مرجع ببيرة لوجيا والعراء مولق طاقة مع الأبلاد تشعر إذا المجيل مو وبتقول الغرا مجرل البليون ولا أترى جيد البليون ولا المالو وذنير بيبي بتقول أدر بلاو labor trafficking am bakti mga al ngaringa sombel elengi bem sisiba labor trafficking ama am sao del girela a labor ni di luror el dudu drngia ngaringa al sel belau yak mo olingit el mo uyuiti ale la al torang barda wala umsindra tial talmal la mokol mora trigal non-resident workers la urura blur belaw mukulungi talte ala dikiwi tatalgi bagi kama lama bear with me labor trafficking in the first degree. A person commits the offense of labor trafficking in the first degree if the person intentionally or knowingly provides or obtains or attempt to provide or obtain another person for labor or services by any of the following means. One, any acts constituting extortion. Ongerung, acts constituting kidnapping. Ongedei, acts relating to unlawful sexual assault in first, second, or third degree. Ongeim, by force, deadly force, or unlawful force. Ongelolm, through acts described as fraud, which means making material false statement, misstatements, or omissions to induce or maintain the person to engage or continue to engage in the labor service. Number 7, requiring that labor or services be performed to retire, repay, or service a real or purported debt. Tia masao del gire la blals. Sel the dibia algon balsela ad e dorim ringi lo ro algon mangada sel blals. Sel blals sel bebira time al blad al blals mal ubung mlam begad. E kadir gore gadra ad al malgon mangada sel blals e gmorgering. Number 8, the act described relating to assault, ngidil assault. Number 9, withholding any of the person's government-issued identification documents with the intent to impede the movement of the person. Sel morega daba bilinger ID ringing license ang passport al moktega ringi malakal su el todra blur belau. Number 10, using any scheme, plan, or pattern intended to cause the person to believe that if the person did not perform the labor or services, then the person or a friend or a member of the person's family would suffer serious harm. Siguro blaktak maulura abal mura adal mospering iloror basi sugum dam kat maklit jaluror malu malmol maloror lobongek yang ngaring sa alim malu bit adrablim mumtamal malu bit mum korir ya sel last wasing using or threatening to use any form of domination, restraint, or control over the person that given the totality of the circumstances would have the reasonable foreseeable effect of causing the person to engage in or to remain engaged in the labor or services. Tara bedengel aul arabel القرام مجيكرل بلغراد المتلتال اللي نيا ذاك السلمان مقلتوك الواسين غوريم الملؤوبن أليبة الملؤوبن ولقطقت دي سلو سنة التيال بلغراد الموسبي الواسين قرق درا آدم ملمول ملورو لبنجي مكم مرجع نيل نرا تقالو نيل رولين سيجي أول labor trafficking ما يجي الاليمنتس كما اوبشر كما اومش الجيرل اورولو بنجلا اوبشر ليبور ما immigration مار ادرابلو businesses employers مار ديريغل foreign employees مار ادربلاو ديريغل employee لاني دي شوباي المرب ترى السلا وجاجي بالغراد هذا ملاش ملون مسير كتير امرغون التوتاق تيجي جدل لو مرا ابرار شي هذه مول ترى telang tengi jalurur ini yang artinya hadirnya el second degree ampo el tiel labor trafficking o ya belchel tiel labor trafficking in the first degree class A felony el galap singel ngara sing trum A malubungon lu irakal murbab ma belchel ngara اوغي ملتلا المرباب يعني انا بس اللي اوذ البلاد امن دريني ام بالجيل تيال الاجاجي اللارا بالا ناشونال كود سبسكشن 20 ما 21 مسا الاجاجي لا الواسي او ان الشغل مغمو توتاك لغمو غلبوس مع الأوبي غمو لغو داو and this la ading the im mal misal adro wil elasel telmalet ya la asum como tu takarngi como golbus e o sisul time como lugo da udo e di regal kalap singela amlo trogok ngarnya talgal ngarngi jagal berio en set el ngasegi de menjaga mandatoria sentencing el ngarnya aklabe lo gal el ngarngi e kadamo golbus el tiraka seguidel menjaga minimum jaga discussion ra adra gort tidir murtra al sel seguidel na mokralla jaga gosamet.
Also, I just want to point out more the core component of our work revolves around a victim-centered approach. We put the best interest of our victims at heart. If it compromises their safety or privacy. That's just one aspect of human trafficking, and as you can see, mal complex. So one of the things we urge the public to help us with at Torah reporting. You can walk into our office. Move more ang malala cell building ang marine law. Malubo ko mamadong our office rakamamal 488-4845. Our hotline 775-4066. Malubo ko mara Facebook Palau Anti-Human Trafficking Unit. You can also reach out to us through Messenger. Don't hesitate to reach out because everything will remain confidential. A majority of our cases successfully go through completion. La cooperation So we ask that if you see something suspicious, Lieutenant Antonio, and maybe you went to an establishment and you see employees, either they're working and there's someone always hovering over them, limiting to who they can talk to. Malubang people who are working excessive hours, no proper day offs, they're not getting their overtime pay. Those are potential indicators of labor trafficking. Sa southern kasi employers ng magul tira ore kada passport. Sa maldirak one of the common signs we get through our cases that lead to an actual case or identified victim. Magul are a showbail or an individual employer lore kadra passport ringal for any other reason, especially say the lore kadra limit the movement ringal al salablu. So as the victim advocate, it is my responsibility to coordinate support services for our victims, trafficking in persons, including victims of people smuggling. And our office, we coordinate with our partner agencies to include the NGOs, individuals, the Adrablu, also government agencies. The services we provide are limited, but we do the best that we can to help our victims. And that's why we encourage everyone, if you see something suspicious, it may be or it may not be, but it's always good to make a report and we'll take it from there.
Okay, ahora todo el mundo me tira de igual mlamei. O sel, como kami sado sebel sel 50,000. O sí. O momokal bus harar sel 50,000. O ngal golol o gelo sing makara makara bus el harar sel 50,000. So kung mandiya karoler ngil harar ngi kom lumutel edak kalap sangel ada kom oiti sel البلشيل نعمل مول من البوس.
Spider sembra lungi il question. Di un vaso sel el question madi morep tra judge ma decision ringil girela adam na matutak lo asengarang mo bruri mo kolobus telarage mgara lo lugo de sel sel kundasan di seguida agora mo subego duli yang madi mo ngarali judge ko madi tutak la tetrim ram dala kala gargari.
Okay. So kita ko atim legri lengkel goler. Ang larong sim na mo.
Okay, hoping. Oram lo clear malaga del utel sebe del mutel ada duri.
Okay. Adal mo.
Okay. Spiderman sebe gal mutel gadi melemol me porcelong erung labor trafficking in the second degree. Akle mutel mo umuyo gal tora Mrigel ngarinya question ng mi presidim kole dolas sumok malugo das mouth. Labor trafficking in the second degree. A person commits the offense of labor trafficking in the second degree if the person knowingly, 1, acts as an individual or uses a licensed business or business enterprise to aid another in a venture, knowing that the other person in that venture is committing the offense of labor trafficking in the first degree. Also, makaada ka siobay lo license, eol nga siyo, ratara adang al-adang malubing tara siobay lo license lo siobay. El modengel waseng sel al-adang malubing sel siobay, malubing gel ad, amalamal ralula labor trafficking in the first degree. Salongeri waseng benefits financially or by receiving something of value from participation in a venue, knowing or in reckless disregard of the fact that another person has engaged in any act described in paragraph 1a. In the course of that venture or that another person in that venture is committing the offense of labor trafficking in the first degree. Malsugum qaul adam malubqa al-adam malubqa siobay. Lol nga sew ngaringa qaraqarngem ra al-sel tiagi the klay nga sew. Ra siobay malubang al-adal niya engage ra a human trafficking. Seguida gadregal mutautra labor trafficking in the second degree. B. Labor trafficking in the second degree is a class B felony. Abel sela ngario ra class A. Jaksal malolaba number amber. Provided that if a violation of subsection A, seguida labor trafficking in the second degree involves kidnapping or an attempt to kidnap, malubing involve a sexual assault in the first, second, or third degree, or the attempt to commit sexual assault in first, second, or third degree, or an attempt to cause the death of a person, or if a death results, the offense shall be class A felony. Malsugum maada malamal la malamal shayid dawra labor trafficking in the second degree. Ningula bataletal involve a sexual assault in first, second, or third degree. Malubang attempt. Gigil kaldel dawra talamal. Malubang kamle attempt pamquadra adam maluba adam ladra sel tial lagarada. Yabel sel labor trafficking in the second degree mo class A felony. Diwabel sel first degree. Cell C, kada more cell C, one element labor trafficking in the second degree, I say, upon conviction of a defendant for an offense under subsection A, labor trafficking in the second degree. A, the court shall also order any and all business license issued by the Republic of Palau to be revoked, or the business or enterprise that the defendant used to aid in the offense of the labor trafficking in the second degree, provided that the court in its discretion may reinstate a business license upon petition to the court by any remaining owner or partner of the business or enterprise who was not convicted of an offense under this section. Mang discussion ra court alurase gerogul siobay rablur belam na involved with the trafficking in the second degree as elmom asimra logiwa decision ra court إذا رجال سبب المساعدة تقليل متلموت الأوبن تال بيزنس را بارتنر مع الأوبنجيل هذا اللي نعتال شوباي اللي دي منعل متو تقرأ سل أوفنس ليبر ترافيكي. أنا أقول عشان من المؤذي يا أمبا.
دي some will remind our businesses ملقوت individual employers الموضوع مقوم داس را recruit their other meal and mashobar meal and be aware of your responsibilities. Be aware of the labor regulations as well as immigration. Most of the time, tigal victims or tigal other who went through this crime, tigal employers were either they were unaware, malubatulo spera other what we say or what we call an intermediate recruiter, amlar other may. And then it causes a ripple effect. The problem spreads through our other. Either they had no involvement in it. It was a subconscious involvement. That's why we always say marula tokra outreach. Itmakam our other labor. We want to remind people that. If you're the one that is signing the document, you have to be aware of what was selmengal adam ang ra giramel haraw nga giramel provide, and then in turn what are their responsibilities in terms of what's stated on the contract. And also even though ang artial in observance of Human Trafficking Awareness Month, we just want to let everyone know that next month of February is Palau's Anti-Human Trafficking Awareness Month. And we will be back. Activities and it will be really great to get your participation. Part of our prevention efforts, but to also raise awareness and get everyone involved, especially the youth and migrant workers.
Okay. So lang ambe. Yakmo malumol ray gale el udra labor trafficking. Sakal maadal wase cell subsection 2003. Luuda kasi nga additional sentencing consideration al-moldi mo ko niya restitution al-motob rakaragri malukol wasi able request niya adra la victim mala kami niya agorta gilel di mo siya malubungot tuti restitution al-mura tirgem lura abra galtal malila lara labor trafficking. Aktiregal mo o iwi atara ta ikagidele termalela la malubang la trafficking, labor trafficking. Tiya masadra wase non-payment of wages. Tiya nga subsection 2005. And wase a person commits the offense of non-payment of wages if the person in the capacity as an employer of an employee intentionally or knowingly or with the intent to defraud fails or refuses to pay wages to the employee except where required by statute or by court process. Bagula sel sugumong ka employer emero moktegargaw etilbir al deswem etilbir atokor o mga blad edi kamhara a wages ra employer gaw ekamotutak at yagi del non-payment of wages. Direkal malukol wase in addition to any other penalty, a person convicted of non-payment of wages shall be fined not less than $2,000 nor more than $10,000 for each offense. Selolgora each offense ya kumdasung al-amlogora gelbek al-tamil gidem al-haraw ali laigel payday gidem al-haraw employee gaw ya am haraw malbugadim le haraw tedob orega sesay aygid each offense en shabem global sara irul telal almo abdula tru telal. Non-payment of wages, a Class C felony. Renewable service labor trafficking in the second degree. Al-sugum amount the seludo del murgadi. Al-jagam harara employee regaw. Arreptre erul tela club. Al-sugum ada mututak ra non-payment of wages. Ol tngak kartelu tutak le. Emom itu tra karagri. MOJ ngosisiu ni erul tela label sel. Al-sugumang misdemeanor. A person commits a separate offense under this section for each pay period during which the employee earned wages that the person failed or refused to pay the employee. If not set pay periods were agreed upon between the person and the employee at the time the employee commenced the work, then each pay period shall be deemed to be bi-weekly. Malsugo man dim nakara contractor kami at tibir lo asing oingarang abek temela udud le kada di mo spare sel bek lerul Sunday alwal gilel temela pay period mloda al harara employee. Seguida direct tara al tutak algim encountering ada kadil adra anti-human trafficking unit and direct al adra labor adrega all receiver tal complaint selo seguida gib lo makalo lo meselo asing abere del tial talamalong obrado magingwar adra anti-human trafficking malmol maragais mofaling obisra AG maluba adra labor asu LD makli leng dimna ka gora muktegra o rgadela udo dimle elbul malubang aniya gora dilub nomtar besula employer matal sibel el harawa udo de la employee. Etial lobisha kama anti-human trafficking unit agitedel investigators ma amber المالدوسيغا MOJ دا جلمو وسبقللا بدنير مع الدسويت تلقى victims سرقمام ترى terror investigators yang artinya Sergeant Sabino Kyoto Jr. ma Sergeant Virginia Umayam mal detailed investigators mal الألمو لاسكوجي mal بتقنا foreign workers المربلاو لول بتوع جيجي القرابة أي دارني لا سلقان تراكتر أذربيلاو ما تيجال employer تير ما أذرا عمود البلول employer ما employer تير ما ذريق النالجذ النالقربيلاو لو رور مو وسويس برا سلا جيجي البلغراد المغضمال برين الانفستيجيت ما جذريق المال أجي مرتين لو مدسلو عشان ترى رولي خذوا قوسي سأقلم تلقى الامبلوير ايقال شوبال نع سلبيلاو مع امبلوير تير مع citizens republic مقدمو اوير لواسين ايقا يا مقتموك بيبير التايم موجيوا البيروغ للتلت ليلة ترى المغرقير بيبير العاد من جيدلو تتقر تير من شيمرا جيد الشوبال ملولا يجيب القرار تقاقرا شمن تلي أدري قلت ترى تلقى تنيلا جالوريوري سبايدر نيجا قاقرا أنغران
إن قدر قاقا أقدم الميم
إلى هذا الأمر مني كم سولان ترى تلقى تنيل جالوريور ما نرى لا هذا مدرين واشين people trafficking mobility program legal people trafficking blugula sing the recruit recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, or receipt of a person for the purpose of exploitation. Tial kora Amerikana kamal loidi motokor bela enditia wase the recruit, balu the transport, transfer, harbor, balu the receive a person for the purpose of exploitation. Tial tokol exploitation masya dal girela ad exploiter ad kada omesa albulir magel korangan sang sirar ade me mengargera wa yegi del alita tirar ad el tadere gal seb ed logi wa ablagarad arwa actor prostitution. Although prostitution sugum ga kadiga ospea prostitution el mengarger en guktar ablals di sugum mengarnya adlo ospe ergau prostitute ergau ese de mo folder al seltial el people trafficking lege exploit tratras aktere kan moduli tiang amba la modungra bebira adra la arkamam lo ase tirgal lura bra al sela igal termelela alla al whether in labor trafficking or in people trafficking whether tamle agree kung yan ngal al sela wa gagi del blagarada la malu ben diak adiak al marel girela akamam lo tutak kada di malmon lo tutak le ade tirgal me exploiter ade mo trimam dala garagri asum dia ka korangot al same ambe me digul molmel bukmo smodi sheltara da telangatingit yalla adulu asing people smuggling. Kya say every person who engages in people smuggling shall be guilty of people smuggling regardless of whether the smuggled person arrives in the receiving country, and upon conviction thereof shall be fined not more than $25,000 or in the end imprisoned for not more than 10 years. People smuggling sel dong iti trira pebira adlo sisbetrira trabalu diaklo giwalu la immigration. Whether gamle force adl mora trabalu or yung luspe rakaw egadi iutetril lo sisbetrira trabalu lo giwa diaklo giwa tokora immigration seguidia tokora people smuggling. Tial la amal ngod kagarus ngi ma igal labor trafficking ma people trafficking le people smuggling amal dim sadra border ra tarablu ma tarablu agel moktegra adel mo soisubra taragel belu al sugumeng fol ra people trafficking ma lubeng labor trafficking en guk mutauta yegidalla malak eng di segidal al people smuggling. Jadi imong al tatalang tingit jala al malgu kira del mo bidang liya saying offense relating to fraudulent passport, travel, and or any other identity documents. Every person who makes, obtains, gives, sells, or possesses a fraudulent passport and or any other identity document for the purpose of facilitating people smuggling or facilitating the continued presence of a smuggled person in a receiving country shall be guilty of travel document fraud. Direga spy del ngaringis el mal warakamang tel omsodel sel people trafficking el liboklut el oiwi sel people trafficking amsa the losing every person who knowingly or recklessly recruits, transports, transfers, harbors, or receives any person or persons for the purpose of exploitation by threat, use of force, abduction, fraud, deception, abuse of power, or the giving or receiving of payments or benefits to achieve the consent of a person having control of another person shall be guilty of people trafficking. Again, ang say gidal lomalila adal may idal yang ogiwa alablada malubang ngul ara malubang laktak tam exploited people trafficking. Tiang ay lekra labor trafficking lendia lo sauda rar adal motor tia labor sector ablu belau tuguk mail exploited ti lo giwa ngodal blakradala example kul sperinya prostitution malubang igagil sexual crimes ya talaman al mura ar adal bilo rakrira 18 17 al mario raigagi the labor trafficking ma people trafficking ako ngod al daw ora al uda adal belau el direct al mal opting la abalsel al sugum ka exploiter adal bilo 17 en medio ikatam ko ringil baseng trafficking of children e guktara offense el mal opting la abalsel diga quramis serinya be agah mal limisil amal qura betul information akmadingel baseng jakalungit keluadra dosira bebira adra agal elements of trafficking kama magi diregal al agal investigation kama magi diregal musu ba yelbek margalet jalurior mak understand frustration adra blues loreng sayang endi al ngaringa ager motan loger of the wal message del wal biski da amber segi del hotline amba numbering again 75 4066 ma obisa 488 4845 tio besa egal demo milsebe del mut malmo mi cloada la قريب ممشودة رايقال elements of trafficking kami arusyo bay malangani agora rarengan kami ulkilela waseng ngaral element rayang agim tura alsel agim tutak la mendregal mal min mimok lam godong almay malubukum di mes kama mararale ila ada du igma adiregal loyuk telobis ma sel arangalel tel task force el chairman ringa vice president udu olingit tanges ora maudo dra bebira blue me milsab edel reach out al mura community dorul outreach program ma nidil blagrad al sub edel midi tial MEC tial blagrad al mura blue belau ma garugul shobay ma di other belau bol understand la sengara arangalel tial trafficking violations len tugud la grada le diregal clora iga rogul bulur muli wekri kada madenge emlar men sara news e muy bulo ase neighbor gidra FSM diregal mal mleke e clo iga gidel trafficking tire matamla tu takl ragar gri tire iga gidel mal optingle ma tugud la grada le sel dungul mora daily life gidra bek la adra al sela blur belau agagi del people trafficking asab edel logio maknit el gar tolab mususura ngidil ave especially rengal mata mosma بدني رايقال مكيت الغار اسويل الموضوع الممرو لا ngidil الغراض mal mobiot الجدا exploiter ادشل la bolo tuila بدني المالسورا ايقال مكيت الغار من ديريغ السؤال والمقلو مكيت الغرب الواد ان مقلو اكسبلويتيشن مال اكسبوجر ارتيغال جيغريل نالجيد المورا جاجيد البيك بدينغلا اذل نغرينغل ديريغ لوغيوا تقرا انترنت ندقا سال مال مذول مروبرا رنغال مالو بايغال ديفايسز ولا بارنغالجيد متمال اكسبوجد المورا abutokung il tokoy madri mal butok tugudul tokol nga internet ngilo sis akl gilela ngil gorul maklaad adirigal nga internet logi wa adirigal losis aklam ra ma makitel blagrada الجذع هذا ما رذيل ما ذا تشتري عن الجذع تشوف را إنترنت ما لو بتمو victim را trafficking ومن وشو الشغل ولا با التقرا جاجيد السوشيال ميديا ما أبي بيرا بالقرار الشيشبرين عن الجذع اللي أوريدين كذا مدنيل واشتم لا سوي شبر على الشيل هذا قديم جاجري مر مقتول هذا victim را جاجيد مكتب بالقرار المرة على الإنترنت أنا كده قرب نشوف إيه الجوك تبغى تبغى إيه الشيل سماذ مسؤول عن يقرميهم قول ما لاقي أم بني قرا عني ذي الموضوع الشاذ الملغي
قاعدين كده some will share with everyone today. Some of the reiterate that more the human trafficking is a ever evolving crime. The trends keep changing. The man more smart and capable of coming up with new ideas of luring in victims. Malubang guk tila lauriro lo spell exploiter ad. So we just want to emphasize on the help that we would want from the community through Facebook, our hotline, office, or feel free to walk in. You can also email us and tie that traffickingpalau@gmail.com if you want to remain anonymous. The information that we have for today, next time we would have more details on activities for next month.
Mandim lagi kita spide ala karuram lagole yang asal mamlo adi makabe ngam tabara ablu ka kargera almut البطاقة الذي trafficking mga awera dong simbre diku lawreng asaw lukung mura tiale committee tial task force del mitabi tialo bisra human trafficking cheringa madam vice الجيرة لا ملوريول لورو ريني لونيتا نشرة outside ما بقولش بإذا التعمل دي غير اليونيت ما بقولش بإذا المسؤول تاع اليونيت إذا رولا بروجرام جديد لو معيش تاع ولا ليلة لو بيش المرة سكول ما يال فورين كوميونيتي لنا عشان لابلور بيلاو هذا بير المكلوم ميجري الأذ ملشب إذا المومو يقلهم ذنير جدا الجيل ذو الإبر جدا أيال تقود البلغراد اللي سبقل ذوق على الشاب البعض كمران المساولة.
Okay, tel dulu reng seringi ya toksora MOJ Family R Ministry of Justice tiang amlaringi ra ong yawalurior tuli matagap singila kotelbuil ra 2024.